Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now we are in the slow summer season. Of course, every summer real estate market in Toronto is slow, but this year is something completely different. For whatever reason, sales have just stopped. Now remember 2023, we had the fewest sales this millennium. We are on pace to have fewer sales this year, but something really interesting is happening. And credit to the media because they usually write whatever sells, but they've got this point right. Even though sales have plummeted, prices are basically flat. Now, I've made this point on my blog before. In any other market, for any other product, if you saw demand plummet and supply massively increase, prices would drop. But it hasn't happened in this market. So today what I want to do, and at the risk of sounding extra salesy, I want to say this. I don't believe that what we're seeing in some areas of the condo market is going to last. I think I called this one today, and you tell me from the title, the best deals in the downtown core. There are a lot of people that are just simply listed, and they're not moving, and they're not reducing their price. Then there are a handful of people, and I'm sorry to say, that need to sell. Okay, proverbial blood in the water, if you will. Now, if you're an investor or if you're a user waiting, these are the type of units that you want to look at. So if you've bought in the last couple of years, listen, markets go up and down, markets always recover. It's the basic of economics, and especially in the real estate market. I saw it in 08, I saw it in 17, and 2022 was the peak. We'll recover next year, the year after, or whenever. But for those of you that are sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in, I know it sounds salesy, but now is the time. I had wings with a friend of mine the other night. He works in investments. In fact, he works with my investments. And I said to him, I'm looking at buying yet another condo, which will be the third one this year. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And he said, we're probably 4 to 5 interest rate cuts away from this end of the market going right back up again. Now, we have a scheduled Bank of Canada announcement on Wednesday of this week. This Pick 5 will be out on Thursday of this week. You tell me, did we just have an interest rate cut? Are we going to see another one in September? Let's take a look at the 5 properties that I want to show you this week. So these 5 guys, as I said, these are not representative of the entire market. I have hand-selected 5 properties where I think they represent excellent deals. Now there's a few things we're looking at. Number 1, what's the absolute price? Because that is important just from an investment standpoint. Number 2, what's the relative price per square foot? Number 3, what are units in this building or of this style going for? And last but not least, here's the fun part. If you're a blood-sucking investor, what did these guys pay for the units? So 32 Trolley Crescent. I like this location. And once upon a time, I used to make fun of this location. I wouldn't say I was wrong. I would say that when there's one building down there, yeah, it's pretty desolate. Right now, this has become an incredible location. See this Courttown Common? I used to come down here with my kids. It's the biggest green space, one of the biggest green spaces downtown. But then you've got this area down here, Canary District, Courttown Commons, whatever you want to call it. Great restaurants. I'm not a restaurant guy, but you have destinations for, there's a bike store down there that a friend of mine's a big gearhead or pedalhead or whatever you call it. He goes there. There's a couple of huge gyms down there. So it's not just anymore a couple of condos. There's a community here now, and I like this from an investment standpoint. And I think a few weeks ago, I did a Pick 5 on where would I live if I was a young person. You know what? I wouldn't think twice about living down here. So the building itself, about 10, 12 years old. This unit is smaller. It's 452 square feet. They're up for $439. They've been on the market 110 days. Now here's the thing, guys. At $971 a square foot, you might say, geez, David, that doesn't sound that low to me. But I want to show you the history of this because somebody paid $510,000 for this in 2021. And again, you bought your condo in the last 3 years, you're gonna say, oh my God, did that happen to me? No, not necessarily. And again, consider if you don't need to sell right now, then honestly, what's the harm? And I know that sounds like sales BS, but the point is, if you're an investor and you've bought for 20 years, there's gonna be fluctuations. If you're a user and you're not selling right now in July of 2024, which is literally the lowest of the condo market from the absorption rate standpoint that I've ever seen, absorption rate 26.5% last month, by the way, in the 416. That will be up on my blog next week. So 510,000, they put it up for 559,900. They tried to lease it for 2,200. They put it back up for 499, and they're at 439 now. So we'll take a look at the photos. Actually, you know what? They're not great. What we'll do is take a look at the photos from when this person bought it, because they looked a hell of a lot better. So the unit is a junior one bed, and I remember because me and Matthew had this exact model. Actually, me and Matthew had this exact model twice, and if you can believe it, someone left us a negative Google review because we used the photos from one for the other, and they said it was misleading, it's not the same unit. Okay, if you have 501 and 601, they're identical. Yeah, it's the same unit. Anyways, it was some guy was like emailed me and he said, I drove all the way into town to see this and I just knew it. And then he left us a negative Google review. Probably one of those guys with really, really small hands. You know, you just know the type. So here we go. This where the TV is. This is usually where somebody has a bed. It's kind of a junior one bed. I know I said we look at all one bedrooms, but again, it's got the soft loft style. It's open concept. It's relatively new. It looks very clean and in good shape. 439,000. Now again, you're opportunistic, or at least you should be. That's why I'm doing this pick 5 today. Not representative of the entire market, but maybe if there's a few people that need to sell, and again, look at the great view and you've got a balcony, maybe these people take 425, maybe they take 420. From an absolute standpoint, that's amazing. And again, from the standpoint of where did these people buy, circle it again for me, 510,000. Say you pull this unit for 420, all markets recover. This one will as well. That is a built-in gain, whether it's a year, 2 years, or 3 years. I really, really like that play. So the next one here, and here's where you gotta pay attention, because we're being opportunistic. And sometimes that means waiting. Now this is a very different market. I occasionally have people that will say to me, I wanna make 100 lowball offers and see if one person will take it, or I'll wait as long as it takes, or we're in no rush. Now, in upward markets, those are bad ideas. In this market right here, what I want to say is that we're gonna wait on this one, and I'll show you why. Take a look at the listing history. So again, I'll go back to the property and show you why I love it, but this unit sold in 2022 for $592. Now it actually sold February 28th, 2022. The peak of our market in the GTA was February of 2022. They paid $592,000 for it. So work with me. They put it up for $578,900, which was the list low, hold back, didn't sell it. Raised it to $625, $599, then $499 with a holdback in the fall, didn't work, up to $579 again, $578 again, and now they're at $499. But here's the interesting thing, and we'll blur out all the contact information here for the listing agent, please. Check this out. Call me before showing or offer. What are we missing here? An offer date. This is listed for $499. It's been on the market for 14 days. There's no offer date. They're not looking to sell it for $499. Right? They just had it listed for $578. They paid $592. So there's a lot of these listings out there right now where they're playing games. And we talked about this at our company meeting on Monday, where we're saying, what do you do when there's a property that like they had it up for 1.3 million and now they're at $999 and it says offers graciously reviewed anytime. They're not looking for $999. Your buyer client says, hey, I want to look at this. Is there an offer date? No, there isn't. There's no offer date. How do you explain to them, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but they're playing a game which may or may not be allowed under organized real estate rules. I've always said that if you don't have an offer date and you're not willing to take the list price, you should not be allowed to be listed. But as we've seen, this happens quite a bit. So let me show you the location, guys, because I kind of worked backwards here. This is the Broadview Townhouses. Right here, the Broadview Hotel, right here, prime Leslieville, and there's, I think, about 100 of these townhouses. I've always loved them. So the unit itself, gosh, I didn't even show you the unit. I'm just talking about the style of, the strategy. So it is a lower level unit. You've got a nice outdoor space, and it's not huge. But what I like about it, I don't want to say the word Airbnb, but if you wanted to Airbnb this, you could, because there's no concierge here. I know a client who has not this, but in Liberty Village, a bunch of those townhouses, Airbnb, absolute cash cow. No, he's not registered with the city. No, you can't report him or her. But people like these because you can Airbnb them. I like them because for a first-time buyer, It's like a real, right, a real townhouse. Now, again, you are lower level, and you'd say, well, David, a townhouse has multiple levels. Call it what you want. These guys paid $592, and I don't quite understand the strategy from the listing standpoint. They're now at $499. But look at this, guys. It has a parking space, it has a locker, and it has that terrace. It has tremendous value, but what are they doing with it? Because it's not $499. So this is one where I'm keeping an eye on. I think it has potential to be one of the best condo deals in the downtown core. Now, another building I've always liked is 25, the Esplanade. So I'll show you on the map, first and foremost, from a rental standpoint, if you are coming to downtown Toronto and you look at, oh, I don't know, say Yonge and Front, boom, there you are, 1 block away is the Esplanade. But also for young people buying their first condo, it's not young and sexy, it's not 1,500 a square foot, but 25 the Esplanade is mature, it is established, it is professional, it's exceptionally well run, and you are steps to the financial district, you are steps out to what used to be on front, the beer market. Is that still there? I had my birthday there every single year. Can we, just to say we did, put up a photo? Gosh, I hope I have this somewhere. Jonathan, I have to remember. That is me and my friends at the beer market in 2002, summer of 2002. Oh my God, is it 2024? That was half my life ago. No, your computer didn't freeze. I'm just frustrated. Anyway, so back in the day, yeah, we used to frequent that strip. I don't know what's down there anymore. The point is, this location's absolutely amazing if you're a young person looking for your first place. Now, the unit itself, guys, here we go. Not in good shape, okay? That's an awful bathroom, but look at the size of it. You have a separate tub and a separate shower, and a lot of young people today, they don't need any of this. They don't want any of this. They want brand new. I get it. I get it, but what if, guys? Yes, that's a crappy washer dryer, but what if you renovated this? Because you see this right here? All this is just walls and floors. There's nothing to do here. This is the bedroom over here, the little solarium, the +1. Look at the amount of space you have. This is a 650 square foot condo. And again, you're gonna look at the kitchen and say, David, I can't do it. I can't do it. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to, because look at that. Look at the size of it. All you gotta do is get some new appliances, new flooring, new cabinets. Guys, this is priced, are you ready for this? At $768 a square foot. $768 a square foot. And I get it. I get it. You don't wanna do a reno. But the opportunity is unbelievable. Not only that, here's the comp. This sold a month ago for $547. Sorry, not a month ago. What month are we in? Did I say I was 44 and I had my beer market birthday 22 years ago? Yeah. This sold 2 months ago for $547. So now we're gonna go back to this guy here. We're only 3 days in the market, but $499. We're already 10% off. And it's the exact same square footage, exact same model, and I don't know, maybe it was better staged. If you don't believe me, let's just go and look at it, just to say that we did. It's the same thing, guys, right? It's just different staging furniture. This is exactly the same as what I just showed you. And now, someone paid $547, $500 for that. This other unit's in the market for $499. You don't want a reno? Fine. But think about the value there for $768 a square foot and for that location. I think that's one of the best condo deals in the downtown core. Now we're coming to one that, to be honest, I'm looking at. Okay, for myself. I'm gonna walk you through this, guys. I'm gonna walk you through what I like. So from the location standpoint, first of all, I like this because, well, as you know, I used to live here at 230 King. Then I lived here at the View. And I've always said King gets an A, Adelaide gets a B, and Richmond gets a C. Now, why are we buying C real estate, you might ask? Well, because of the price. So address history. And again, this is not every condo in the downtown core. It is just a selected few. But for some reason, there are some people that really, really need to sell. Guys, someone bought this in June of 2020 for $575. Now they rented it out, okay? $1,890 they didn't get, $1,700 they didn't get. Guess what? It was the middle of the pandemic. They put it up for $1,575 and they rented it. And then they said, I don't want to be an investor. What the hell was I thinking? They put it up for $579.9, then $559.9. Then they said, okay, you know what? I'll get another tenant. They put someone in there for $2,300. Then this year they put it up for $529. Now they're at $499. And they can't lease it because it's a bad lease market out there, except for the ones that we had, which I wrote about on my blog. and a friend of mine from Remax Realtron, who does a ton of multiplex work, said to me, what the hell are you doing? Telling people that we're in a strong rental market? I've never seen such a bad rental market. I guess we're lucky. So again, guys, this is priced right now, okay? $499,900 divided by 575. This is priced at $869 a square, but it's been on the market for 27 days. Someone paid $575,000 for it. Let's say, for argument's sake, you get this for $475. You paid $100,000 less than someone did 4 years ago. And again, not every unit in the city of Toronto, but just so happens to be this one. Would you buy this for that built-in profit? Now, the unit itself is beautiful. Check this out. What's not to like? What's not to like? I don't see anything. Now, there's a lot for rent in here right now. But if this is a $2,300 a month unit, get $2,100. Who cares? That's $200 a month. That's $2,400 for the year that you're losing. But you're paying $100,000 less than somebody else paid. So if I'm a young first-time buyer right now, why the hell are there pictures of light fixtures? If I'm a young first-time buyer, I'm looking at this kind of unit because it has space. So all the micro condos that young people, I'm gonna stereotype, young people that are like, I don't cook, so I don't really need a kitchen, and what do they do with all their clothes? Anyways, they are able to live in 350 square feet. This is 575 square feet. They've used awful wide-angle lenses. This is just the most ridiculous bed I've ever seen. Ugly closet, put in some closet organizers, fine. But guys, call me crazy. What am I looking at here? What am I looking at? And here's another picture of the light fixture. Here's the thing that I'm gonna tell you. A typical real estate commission is 2.5%. These people are offering 3%, which tells me that they're desperate. Now 3%, just say that I bought it. Say I bought it for $475,000 times 0.03, but there's also HST, thank you government, it's a $16,000 commission. So if I bought this for $475,000 and threw in the commission with HST, it's $459,000 for a 575 square foot condo. Guys, I just don't think these opportunities are gonna last. What I'm seeing this summer is absolutely mind-boggling. And I'm not just speaking to you as an investor, I'm speaking to you as somebody that's on the fence with whether or not should I buy now. This kind of thing, it just boggles my mind. And one of my clients, I think I mentioned him previously, big guy in the pre-construction space, he sent me something on the weekend. Remember when I said Regent Park, right? The prices that they were getting, $1,400 a foot, didn't make any sense. He sent me a unit that someone paid like $1,454 for in 2022, $625,000, just resold for $480 as a power of sale. Listen, I wasn't selling Regent Park for $1,400, $1,500 a square foot. At that time, I was putting people into stuff that I figured would appreciate. Regardless, there are opportunities out there. This one right here, I am taking a serious look at this week. Okay, so the last one here, guys, is 127 Queen, unit 1002. Now, in terms of a location, remember I said Adelaide gets a B, King gets an A, Adelaide gets a B, Richmond gets a C. Then what do you do when you go up to Queen Street? So for the longest time, this was a pretty dodgy area, but there's so much condo development around here. I know that you've got some dodgy stuff down around here. I just think it's going to be eventually a better area, less riffraff, or at least once you're west of Jarvis. So I've always liked this building. I've always thought it's undervalued. And guys, again, this is another one where we're $499, $999. We're on the market 28 days. And let's go to the address history here and take a look. What did somebody buy this unit for? And when was that? Here we go. $482,000 6 years ago. And they're on the market for $499.9. Guys, I am sounding like a broken record. This is not representative of the entire market. I have clients who bought in 2018 and sold this year in condos and made 30 to 40%. What's happening here is that we're seeing people that have pain points. They need to sell, not want to sell, but need to sell. We're also seeing people that paid massive premiums. And I'm not saying I've never sold somebody a place at a massive premium, but that 6 years ago was a serious price. So here we are again at $499, $999. And the unit, guys, it shows really well, right? This is really, really nice. Now, functionally, okay, that's your dining room there. It's not fantastic. And we had a similar sale. I think we got $575 for Milosh's place, if I'm not, oh wow, gas range and everything. No, I think his was a little bit bigger than this. But I like the location. I like the price point, right? Rents for what, $24.50? nice little outdoor space, decent city view. And again, these things are sitting on the market. So I'm not saying that you need to lowball the hell out of a million different people. What I am saying is that there are opportunities. So I like this one, guys, but I like all of them for different reasons. Again, I'm looking at the absolute price, and for the longest time, think about how developers sold pre-construction condos. As prices continued to climb, they made units smaller because they wanted to keep the absolute price as low as possible. So once upon a time, in pre-construction, you could buy a $450,000 unit, but it was 700 square feet. To keep that absolute price or that entry-level price low, they just shrank the units, and now it's $450,000 for 380 square feet. The point is something like 32 Trolley, which is a junior one bed, but Matthew and I sold that same model for $512,000. This guy paid $510,000 for that unit. If you were to pull that thing for $420,000, you're going to get that money back over the next couple of years. Broadview, I'm keeping an eye on. The Esplanade, again, I mean, that's a massive condo that's 650 square feet and it needs some work. For those that don't want to do work, I like 320 Richmond. They paid $575,000 4 years ago, and now they're sitting there, they're on their 8th listing. And then lastly, Queen, it looks like those people really need to sell. So, you know, I'm not one to, what would be the phrase? Take pride in the misery of others. Look, it's a market, and people buy, people sell, people can get burned, people can make money. There was an article in the Toronto Star on the weekend, which I wrote about on my blog, and it was somebody that said he can't sell his condo. Well, the Toronto Star wrote all this kind of woe is me stuff, and then I dug into it and looked at the unit and looked at all of the things that maybe the Toronto Star article didn't show. There are reasons that that's not selling. So at the end of the day, the market is what it is. And if you're in the condo market right now and you're living comfortably, fine, ride it out. This is such a slow summer. But if we get a rate cut in July, we get a rate cut in September, God forbid we get one to finish the year or early next year, by the spring of 2025, if you're talking about having 4 interest rate cuts of 25 basis points or more, I think we're gonna see this condo market pick up because you can only hold this thing down for so long. Anyways, guys, tell me I'm a salesperson, as I said, but I'm looking at that unit. I might pick up my 3rd condo this year because I just can't believe how cheap these prices are. Folks, thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this look at the best deals in the downtown Toronto condo market. Please remember to like, comment, or subscribe. Put a comment on the YouTube video if you like. Email me with any future ideas for episodes, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.